Chael Sonnen explains why Raja Jackson still hasn't been arrested. In a recent appearance on the Ariel Helwani show, former fighter and analyst Chael Sonnen addressed one of the most pressing questions in the wrestling and combat sports community. Why has Raja Jackson not yet been arrested after his brutal attack on Psycho Stu? The incident, which shocked fans and divided opinions, looked less like a performance and more like an actual assault inside the ring. Many expected immediate legal action, yet nothing has happened so far. Sonnen explained why this delay isn't surprising, offering insight into both the wrestling business and the legal process behind such cases. According to Sonnen, the key issue lies in whether the incident is deemed part of the performance or an actual crime. Every competitor on the card that night told their opponent they were going to beat them up. Every single wrestler hit their opponent, slammed them, and performed violent-looking moves. That's the nature of professional wrestling. The real difference comes down to intent. Was it performance, or was it a genuine attempt to cause harm? Sonnen said. He further clarified that while the footage appeared to show Raja Jackson abandoning the scripted performance and deliberately trying to injure Psycho Stu, the only person whose opinion truly matters is Stu himself. Only Psycho Stu can declare that what happened wasn't planned. The rest of us, including fans and even fellow wrestlers, are just observers. We don't get to decide whether it crossed the line into criminal behavior, Sonnen emphasized. Legally, Stu has up to 12 months to file a complaint or pursue charges. Until then, law enforcement cannot simply arrest Raja based on a wrestling match video. The audience's job is to be entertained, not to determine what's real and what isn't. The legal system doesn't take cues from crowd reactions, Sonnen added. Another reason for the delay, Sonnen revealed, is that Psycho Stu himself is conflicted. Having spoken with people close to him, Sonnen explained that Stu believes pressing charges could damage his image as a legitimate tough guy and hurt the wrestling business as a whole. Wrestling relies on a delicate balance of reality and performance, and Stu reportedly feels that going to the police would break that illusion. There are also financial factors in play. Sonnen pointed out that the wrestling promotion carries a $1 million insurance policy, which could quickly result in a settlement if Stu pursued legal action. As a promoter himself, Sonnen knows how these policies work and noted that Stu could potentially walk away with a significant payout. However, this comes at the cost of his wrestling identity and reputation. This is the choice Stu has to make, Sonnen concluded. One path gets you $1 million, the other protects your character, your legacy, and the image you've built in wrestling. For many wrestlers, their identity is worth more than money, and people will go to extreme lengths to protect it. As of now, Psycho Stu remains silent, leaving fans and the wrestling world waiting to see whether he will seek justice through the courts or protect the business by keeping the matter within the ring. Moving to the next news. Mike Tyson vs. Floyd Mayweather exhibition bout confirmed for spring 2026. In a shocking development that has the entire boxing world buzzing, it has been confirmed that Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather will face each other in an exhibition fight in spring 2026. The announcement, which surfaced last night, immediately sparked global excitement and speculation. While details remain scarce, the very idea of these two legendary figures stepping into the ring together has already set the stage for what could become one of the most talked about events in sports history. The fight will be managed by CIA Sports, a major promotional group that has handled high-profile events in the past. At this time, however, critical details such as the venue, weight class, broadcasting rights, and ticket sales have not yet been finalized. What is certain is that fans will get to witness two of the most iconic names in combat sports share the spotlight once again. Mike Tyson, who will be 59 years old at the time of the fight, remains one of the most feared heavyweights in the history of boxing. Known as the baddest man on the planet, Tyson's prime years were defined by his ferocious power, aggressive style, and the ability to end fights in devastating fashion. Even decades after his retirement from professional boxing, Tyson has stayed in the public eye through podcasts, training sessions, and occasional exhibition bouts. His 2020 exhibition match with Roy Jones Jr. proved that he still retains speed, reflexes, and charisma that captivate fans worldwide. On the other side of the ring will be Floyd "Money" Mayweather, who at 48 years old continues to maintain an undefeated professional record of 50-0. Mayweather is widely regarded as one of the greatest defensive boxers of all time, mastering the art of evasion, counterpunching, and precision. Known for his tactical genius, Mayweather's style contrasts sharply with Tyson's brute force approach, which makes this matchup particularly intriguing. Fans are already speculating how Mayweather's defensive brilliance might hold up against Tyson's raw aggression, even in an exhibition setting. The announcement has raised several important questions. Will there be a designated weight class for the bout, or will it be a catchweight exhibition? Will the fight follow professional boxing rules, or will it adopt the looser structure of previous exhibition bouts that Mayweather has participated in? Where will the fight be held? Las Vegas, the traditional capital of boxing, or perhaps a global venue like Dubai or Saudi Arabia, which have recently hosted mega events? These questions remain unanswered for now, but the confirmation alone has ignited massive anticipation. Beyond the logistics, this matchup symbolizes more than just a sporting contest. Tyson and Mayweather represent two very different eras of boxing. Tyson's career defined the 1980s and 1990s with his destructive power, while Mayweather's reign dominated the 2000s and 2010s with unmatched precision and financial success. Bringing them together, even in an exhibition, is a nostalgic yet monumental crossover that appeals to multiple generations of fans. While skeptics question whether the bout will live up to the hype, considering both fighters are well past their primes, the entertainment value is undeniable. Exhibition matches are not about rankings or titles, but about spectacle and legacy. With Tyson's aura and Mayweather's showmanship, fans can expect a global event unlike any other. As the spring of 2026 approaches, boxing enthusiasts will eagerly await more details. Until then, the very prospect of Mike Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather stands as proof that in combat sports, the unexpected can still happen, and history can be rewritten inside the ring. Moving to the next news, Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker reportedly targeted for UFC Qatar. It appears that lightweight contender Arman Tsarukyan will not be getting his long-awaited title shot just yet. For months, Tsarukyan has been vocal about his desire to challenge newly crowned lightweight champion Ilia Topuria, hoping to finally secure his opportunity at UFC Gold. However, according to a recent report from Red Corner MMA, the UFC has other plans in motion. The promotion is reportedly targeting a high-stakes lightweight clash between Arman Tsarukyan and Dan Hooker for the upcoming UFC Qatar event on November 22nd. If finalized, this fight would represent an important turning point for both men as they look to solidify their positions in one of the UFC's most competitive divisions. For Tsarukyan, the matchup would mark his long-awaited return to the octagon. Earlier this year, he was set to challenge then lightweight champion Islam Makhachev at UFC 311 on short notice, a massive opportunity that could have instantly changed the trajectory of his career. Unfortunately, Tsarukyan was forced to withdraw due to a back injury, a setback that temporarily halted his championship aspirations. Now healthy and motivated, Tsarukyan is eager to prove that he belongs among the lightweight elite and is willing to take on one of the division's most battle-tested veterans to do so. Meanwhile, Dan Hooker is also preparing for an important return. Known as the Hangman, Hooker has been a fan favorite for years due to his willingness to take on tough opponents and his knack for delivering exciting performances. The New Zealander's last outing came at UFC 305, where he earned an impressive victory over rising contender Mateus Gamrot. That win appeared to re-establish Hooker as a legitimate threat in the division. However, Hooker's momentum was stalled when he was scheduled to face Justin Gaethje at UFC 313 earlier this year, only to withdraw after suffering a hand injury during training camp. Now fully recovered, Hooker sees Tsarukyan as the perfect opponent to reignite his pursuit of title contention. Stylistically, this potential fight promises fireworks. Tsarukyan is known for his relentless wrestling, suffocating grappling, and ever-improving striking, while Hooker brings a wealth of experience, elite kickboxing, and durability that has carried him through some of the toughest battles in the lightweight division. Fans can expect a high-paced, action-packed encounter where both fighters will have the chance to showcase their strengths. For Tsarukyan, a win over Hooker would strengthen his claim for a title shot against Topuria in the near future. For Hooker, defeating a surging contender like Tsarukyan could once again place him firmly in the championship picture. With UFC Qatar already shaping up to be one of the most anticipated cards of the year, the addition of this potential lightweight showdown would only increase excitement among fans. While nothing is officially confirmed yet, all signs point toward Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker being a pivotal fight in the road to lightweight supremacy. Moving to the next news. Dana White cancels UFC Paris fight. At the last-minute fight, fans received some deeply disappointing news early this morning regarding the highly anticipated UFC Paris card. A major bout, Patricio Pitbull Freire vs. Losqueta, has been canceled at the last minute due to weight management issues that left one fighter unable to compete. The cancellation stems from Losqueta's failure to make weight for his UFC debut. In a heartfelt post on X, formerly Twitter, Queta expressed regret and frustration at the situation. He wrote, "For the first time in 25 fights, I failed to make weight, and it had to happen on my UFC debut. I wanted to continue and would have given everything to make weight, but my body didn't want it. I sincerely apologize to all my fans. I will be back, just like every time I fall in life." While Quetta attempted to take accountability for the mishap, his opponent Patricio Pitbull was not impressed. Pitbull, a seasoned veteran known for his professionalism and discipline, made it clear he would not accept the fight under unfair circumstances. Speaking to UFC officials, Pitbull explained, "At this stage, I don't fight for money anymore, I fight for legacy, and I won't give this guy that advantage." At 9 a.m., he weighed in, he was over, and instead of trying until 11 a.m., which is the limit, he was eating baby food. "If you want to blame anyone, blame my opponent." Pitbull's frustration spilled over to social media as well. On X, he criticized Quetta for not making the necessary effort to cut the remaining weight. "I did my part, but my opponent didn't do his." Pitbull wrote, "I was called on short notice, traveled across time zones, dealt with jet lag, and still made weight. My opponent was at home, had 3 more hours to try, and chose not to. I would really like to fight on the UFC Rio card instead. I'll face anyone who makes weight." In a mix of anger and humor, Pitbull also mocked his opponent by posting a meme of a fat Black Panther set to the Pink Panther theme song, though of course UFC broadcasters could not air the clip due to copyright restrictions. The cancellation is a significant disappointment, not only for the fighters involved but also for the fans who were eagerly waiting to see Pitbull make his UFC appearance in Paris. This fight was supposed to be a highlight of the undercard, bringing together a seasoned veteran in Pitbull and a newcomer in Quetta, both of whom had the potential to put on an explosive show. Unfortunately, weight issues remain one of the recurring challenges in mixed martial arts, often leading to last-minute changes or outright cancellations. For Pitbull, the frustration is understandable. He did everything required under challenging circumstances, only to have his efforts wasted. For Quetta, the incident marks a rough start to his UFC career, and he now faces the pressure of proving himself not only as a fighter, but as a professional capable of meeting the demands of the sport. While this cancellation overshadows part of UFC Paris, fans can still look forward to the main card, which promises several exciting matchups. The UFC has reminded viewers that the main card begins at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, ensuring that the night will still deliver world-class action despite the setback. Now the question remains, will Patricio Pitbull get his wish to compete on the UFC Rio card, and how will Quetta recover from this damaging start to his UFC career? Only time will tell. Moving to the next news. Tom Aspinall confronts Cyril Gane's coach Fernand Lopez after UFC 321. In one of the more surprising moments following the UFC 321 press conference, heavyweight contender Tom Aspinall confronted Fernand Lopez, the longtime coach of former interim champion Cyril Gane. For more than a year, tension has been brewing between Aspinall and the Gane camp. Aspinall has repeatedly accused Gane of avoiding him inside the octagon, claiming that the French star has passed on multiple opportunities to fight him. Meanwhile, Lopez has consistently dismissed those claims, labeling Aspinall's comments as nothing more than whining and annoying. That ongoing back and forth finally came to a head in Paris when Aspinall approached Lopez directly. Footage of the exchange, which Aspinall later posted on his social media, shows the two engaging in a heated but respectful conversation that ultimately ended in a handshake. During the discussion, Lopez explained his side of the story. He insisted that neither the UFC nor Dana White had ever formally mentioned Aspinall's name to their team prior to Gane's fight in Manchester. Lopez stressed that while fans and media often speculated about a potential matchup, from his perspective there had been no official offer before then. "I swear to God," Lopez said, "Dana never mentioned your name or any fight before Manchester. That was the first. Maybe they mentioned something to others, but never directly to me." Aspinall, however, countered with his own version of events. He claimed that the UFC had offered Gane the fight on 2 separate occasions, once before the Manchester card and once again during it. From Aspinall's point of view, the Gane camp had declined both times. "From our perspective, we got offered it before Manchester, and then again in Manchester," Aspinall explained. "That's what I know. I would never make something up just to make you guys look bad. I was only saying the truth as I experienced it." Despite the disagreement, the conversation remained civil. Both men acknowledged that the truth can sometimes look different depending on perspective. Lopez maintained that Gane's team was never formally approached, while Aspinall stood firm that the fight had been put on the table more than once. By the end of the exchange, the tone shifted. Both sides recognized that what really matters is that the fight between Aspinall and Gane is now within reach. Aspinall emphasized that his intention was never to slander Gane or his coach, but to clarify why he felt overlooked. "I didn't want you thinking I was just making things up for the media," he told Lopez. "We're fighters, and this is what we do. When the fight happens, it's going to be a good one." Lopez, for his part, shook Aspinall's hand and agreed. The two men parted on respectful terms, acknowledging that regardless of past disagreements, the heavyweight division is about competing at the highest level. This interaction has only fueled excitement for a potential showdown between Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane. Fans have long wanted to see the two technical heavyweights collide, and with both fighters eager to prove themselves, the stage is set for a blockbuster matchup in the near future.